What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video. And today I'm doing my wrap up and review from a prejudging of the 2021 Texas Pro. I've got Open Pro Men's Bodybuilding and also 212. I'm going to start with the Open Pro Men's Bodybuilding, and it came down to three men in the final call out. It was Phil Klahar on the left, Ian Valliere in the middle here, and Steve Kuclo on the right. Now, we'll say that Steve Kuclo was in the middle to start with. Ian Valliere got moved into the middle for the second round, and then for the third round, Phil Klahar got put into the middle. So they really worked these guys hard, which I'm loving seeing at these shows recently. Plus, there's only 10 men in the Open Pro Men's Bodybuilding, so I was very, very happy to see that they actually worked them hard, and we got to see a real good look at everyone in the middle, which did make a difference because the guy in the middle typically looked a little bit better, so I will say that as well. That obviously advantages Ian Valliere here slightly as well. So let's go through it. So front double bicep. So on the left here, Phil Klahar, I'd say his midsection throws off the pose a little bit, but his quads look pretty damn good. And the pose isn't a bad shot for Phil Klahar. You got Ian Valliere in the middle. His biceps look pretty huge. He looks like he's pulling his shoulders up a little bit less this week, which improves the pose for him. Quads look sensational. And then you got Steve Kuclo on the right, who looks absolutely enormous. Now his midsection does come out a little bit in comparison to like Ian Valliere, but it is a little bit more developed as well. And Steve Kuclo, I'd say, wins this shot, with probably Ian Valliere in second and then Phil Klahar in third. So in front lat spread, I see this one much the same with Steve Kuclo winning it. He just looks too big. He's taller than these other two guys as well. And then Ian Valliere in a close second. I'd like to see Ian Valliere's chest up a little bit on this one. I think it'd improve the pose for him. And then Phil Klahar in a close third. Then on the side chest, now I think this is Ian Valliere's pose, to be honest. He looks great in this shot. I think it was a little bit closer when Steve Kuclo was in the middle, but I'd give this one to Ian Valliere. And then I'd say probably a Steve Kuclo or a Phil Klahar in second, because this is a good pose for Phil Klahar as well, but I'd probably have to put Steve Kuclo in second. So on the back double bicep, I'd probably give this to Phil Klahar, because when you saw a video in motion, I'd say his back looks a lot more dense and I suppose detailed compared to Ian Valliere and Steve Kuclo. But I've got to tell you that Ian Valliere looks pretty damn impressive on this one as well. So I might go Phil Klahar first here. Ian Valliere maybe just in second over Steve Kuclo. Then we've got the back lat spread. I'd give this to Phil Klahar as well. And then I'd give it a toss-up between Ian Valliere and Steve Kuclo for second on that one. Then you move on to the side tricep. I'd give this one to Ian Valliere as well. Another one from the side for Ian, where he sort of excels from the side, in my opinion. Steve Kuclo probably a close second on that one. And then Phil Klahar in third. Moving on to the ab and thigh now, this one's hard to judge because, Ian and Phil hit it differently to Steve. I'd probably give it to Steve narrowly, but a pretty damn close pose there. And then in the most muscular, Steve Kuclo wins this one. He's absolutely enormous. When he hits that crab most muscular, he looks crazy. So I'd have Steve Kuclo winning 4 out of the 8 poses against obviously 3 guys, 2 poses to Ian Valliere and 2 poses to Phil Klahar. So I'd probably place it Steve Kuclo, Ian Valliere in second, and then Phil Klahar in third. But it is very, very close. They work these men really hard. It'll be interesting to see how they show up at finals to see if that makes any difference at all to the placings. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Who do you have first, second, and third between Ian Valliere, Steve Kuclo, and Phil Klahar for the 2021 Texas Pro Open Men's Bodybuilding Championship? And moving on to the 212s, where it came down to 2 men, Ahmed El-Sadani and also Austin Carr. Austin Carr made huge improvements from coming equal last weekend in Tampa, equal 16th, to being seemingly a top 2 guy in this show. So let's get into it. So Ahmed El-Sadani on the left, Austin Carr on the right, front double bicep. Now this one, Austin Carr's quads look very, very impressive in the front, but I'd probably give this one to Ahmed El-Sadani just slightly. I think he's a little bit more crisp through the midsection still and through the whole overall physique, but a very, very close front double bicep there. Front lat spread, I give this one to Ahmed El-Sadani as well, because Austin Carr's legs look more impressive on the front double bicep for whatever reason, whether it was the way he was holding them, I'm not too sure, but I'd give that one to Ahmed El-Sadani as well. Side chest, this one I'm giving to Austin Carr. He's just got more size in the legs from the side. The hamstring drop is pretty impressive. He's got more glutes a little bit as well. And just the side chest overall, the upper body looks a little bit more filled out, to be honest. So I was a little bit surprised, but I'm giving that one to Austin Carr. Back double bicep, I'd give this one to Ahmed El-Sadani slightly, but you look at the legs of Austin Carr, so impressive. But I think Ahmed is just a little bit more complete overall here, a little bit more balanced maybe, but very, very close pose once again. The rear lat spread, I don't know why, but Austin Carr's right shoulder was pulled right up on that one for whatever reason. So I'd give this one to Ahmed El-Sudani, but not in a landslide, because I think Austin has probably a bit more of a back. He's just not presenting it properly on that shot. Side tricep, I'd give this one to Ahmed El-Sudani just slightly. Upper body wise, I'd give it to Ahmed. Lower body wise, I'd give it to Austin. So that's a pretty close one for me. The abs and thigh, I'd give this one to Ahmed El-Sudani as well. Only reason being he's got a very, very pretty midsection, and I love his abs and thigh. It just is absolutely crazy, and he makes his legs look better as well. I think he's standing a little bit further forward on stage, which gives him the advantage. So his quads look a little bit bigger in comparison to Austin's compared to what they did before. But that is just such a good pose and such a pleasing pose from Ahmed El-Sudani, but still not a bad one from Austin Carr as well. Then in the most muscular, I might give this one to Austin Carr, but it is extremely, extremely close. I think Austin just looks so impressive on this shot. He's got the great, huge, and honestly enormous shoulders. Like, they are absolutely crazy. And Ahmed's are no joke either, but I just think with the quads and the shoulders and the way that pose overall looks, I would give that one to Austin Carr. So I'm not sure what the pose breakdown is there in terms of how many Austin wins compared to how many Ahmed wins, but I think it's like 2 to 6 or something like that in Ahmed's favor. But it's going to be a battle. Let me know who you think's winning the 212 title between Ahmed El-Sudani and Austin Carr, because it's definitely going to be a battle. There's a few other good guys in the 212s as well. I want to mention as well, Guy Cittanino making that first call out as well after finishing equal 16th last week in Tampa too. So it's great to see these guys making huge improvements in just 1 week of prep. So that's it for this wrap up of the prejudging for the 2021 Texas Pro. Let me know who you've got in the opens and also the 212s in the comments below, and give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button if you like this content. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills, at Desktop Bodybuilding, including my wrap up of the finals from this same show as well. So that's it for me. For Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are